Mark Santiago here, and welcome to the Empowered AF podcast, where each episode we share powerful strategies to help you communicate, act, and lead like an empowered man. Thanks for joining me.
What is up, guys? It is Friday, and I hope you guys have good plans for the weekend. My kids are excited. We're going to this place called the Great Wolf Lodge here in Scottsdale, Arizona. They have a water park, and we're actually allowed to use it, so that's kind of cool. I'm kind of excited about that. We'll have a good weekend, I think, of some fun. So let me know if you guys are doing anything this weekend. Let me know what you've got going on. Like I said, I'm taking them there. I think it's going to be a fun outlet for them. Today, it's kind of just getting hit with some messages on from clients as well as guys that are about to join the program, and they're just going through some emotional stuff. And I wanted to address some things here that hopefully will help you understand the mindset you must have to be an empowered man, to be a successful empowered man. I believe that every guy that comes in this group, we're almost at 1,000 members. I believe that every guy in this group, what's up, Jeff, John, Dale? I believe every one of you that are in here for a reason, and that is because you don't want to feel like a lost little boy anymore, right? You don't want to feel like you are not in control of your emotions and your feelings and all of those things. And I remember specifically going through some of the deepest, darkest parts of my marriage, whether it was the affairs involved or some of the emotional abuse that I endured, some of the things that I did and, bad decisions I made. And what happened was it was real easy when you're in that deep, dark pit to begin feeling sorry for yourself. And when we feel sorry for ourselves, that's where we're like entering little boy mode, right? If you look at a child who's feeling sorry for himself, what are they doing? They're folding their arms, they're pouting with their lip, and we see our kids do it all the time. And we're like, dude, you need to stop feeling sorry for yourself. It's one thing to understand their pain, and it's one thing to go, oh, I'm sorry that happened. But there comes a point when every man that's been hurt has to stop feeling sorry for himself. The reason is because if you don't stop feeling sorry for yourself, you're going to be sorry later on in life. The only way forward is to have a vision forward. So what happens is we get guys that come in this group, we get guys that even come to the program, we try not to let them in when they're in this stage. We call it phase one of the empowered man, right? And that is where they basically have just been hit across the face with a 2x4 of their wife saying, I don't love you, I'm cheating on you, whatever. You find out stuff, and they just fall apart. And you'll talk to them on the phone, and they're just not there. They're a shell of themselves. I was there. Like, I understand those thoughts. I understand those tears. I mean, I cried for days. I cried for weeks. It was hard for me to function. It was hard for me to work. It was hard for me to do anything. But I had to come to this place where I realized that I needed to stop feeling sorry for me and actually feel sorry for her. And here's what I mean by that, is that once I understood my value as a man, once I understood my value as a husband, once I understood who I was, then all of the things that I was going through, the things I was experiencing as a result of her behavior, or as a result of me being a bad husband, or a result of whatever, all of that ended up being put to the side because I came to the place of realizing that I'm going to be okay. That while I might have made bad decisions or I might have done some things, I'm going to own my shit and I'm going to be okay. On the other hand, if she doesn't come to grips with things, if she doesn't work on herself, she won't be okay. And we see this all the time where guys will be like, you know what, dude, I feel like I'm outgrowing my wife. And it's very possible because a lot of times the women just don't want to grow. And vice versa. There's relationships, and I know coaches that work primarily with women who don't have that issue. And, they don't struggle with that like we do, and they're working on themselves, but the men aren't working on themselves, and they're outgrowing the men. That's most often that's what it is. That's probably why my group isn't 10,000 guys yet, because it's harder for men to suck it up and realize they have got to work on themselves. So if you notice on our application, if you've applied to book for a call, we ask you what the biggest problem is. And if you say you don't have any issues, she's the one with all the problems, we will cancel your call because we won't have it with you, because you are not in the right mindset to be working with us. So guys, my biggest encouragement for you this week as you're going into the weekend is to be thinking about the idea that the only way for me to move forward, the only way I can make progress, is if I stop fucking feeling sorry for myself. If I stop pouting in a corner and I start to realize that, hey, I'm valuable. I am more than enough. And that because of my value, I don't have to feel sorry for myself. Yes, I'm in a shitty position. And yes, this sucks. And yes, this hurts. This is some of the worst pain you will ever feel in your life. But don't waste the pain. Don't sit there and feel sorry for yourself. Oh, I'm in a fog. Oh, I can't do anything. Oh, I just can't see straight. Blah, 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 blah. All that stuff. At some point, you have to get over yourself. Now, I'm all for empathizing with your pain. I do that all the time with my clients. I've got guys that get on Voxer and just wear me out sometimes with some of that shit. And I'm like, dude, I'm not here to therapize you. I'm not here to give you therapy. What I'm here to do is help you move forward. And the only way to move forward is if you get out of your own fucking way. Is if you get out of your own head and you take actions that move you forward. There's guys in this right now that are watching on this video that have done that have invested in themselves in this program. And they're watching themselves get huge growth really fast because they're taking action and they're not feeling sorry for themselves anymore. I've got clients that, when they first started with me, they're like, all I can think about is wanting my wife back and wanting my relationship back and all that stuff. And fast forward 2-3 weeks and they're like, dude, I don't know if I want her back. Not that I don't love her and not that I don't want to be married, but she's going to have to work on herself. Yes, exactly. Because once you start doing the work on yourself, once you start looking internally and you realize that sometimes you've been manipulated, go back and watch that 3 ways you've been manipulated by your wife video, where I talk about the ways that wives manipulate us, and stop being manipulated and start actually tuning into what your heart needs, what you want out of life, and start determining what is the adventure I want to grow. That is the only way to get out of your way. You can't sit there on a couch every weekend or week and go, woe is me, my wife has left me, and I don't know what to do with myself, and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and all this shit that is spewing out of your mouth. That is not empowerment. That is disempowerment. You are disempowering yourself, and you are also, in my opinion, you're discrediting the man you are inside. Because I believe every man in here that is in this group has something in them that says, I want to change. I want to grow. I want to stop feeling sorry for myself and realize that I must move forward. If you look at any football team, if you look at any military thing, if you look at anything that happens, what initially will happen, let's playing football, right? I remember the first time I got hit really hard playing football. It was a shock to the system. And I was like, Coach, I can't feel anything. He's like, you're going to be okay. You just need to get back in there and do it again. I'm like, do it again? He's like, yeah, it hurts the first time, but the second time it won't hurt as bad, I promise you. And then he threw me into the next guy, and I had to tackle him. And it was like I learned to deal with the initial shock, the initial trauma, and move forward to the point where I got to the place where I'm like, yes, I like getting hit. I like hitting other people because I'm not allowing it to happen to me anymore. I'm doing it to the problem. I'm doing it to the thing in front of me. And some of you have got to get to that place where you go, I don't want to be hit. I don't like getting hit, but I'm going to lay down the smack on something. I'm going to move forward and lay the hit on my problem and what is happening. It doesn't mean you get violent with your wife or anything like that. But what it means is you get violent with the problem with a solution. You stop feeling sorry for yourself. And you know what? I'm sick of sitting here taking these beatings and taking these hits. I'm going to get up. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to rise to the empowerment that is in me. And I'm going to become that empowered man because I have something inside of me that says I will not settle for second best. I will not settle for things that are not good enough for me. That I won't just take a woman cheating on me. That I won't just take a woman who just doesn't love me anymore and doesn't want to be around me anymore. That I will say, you know what? I'm going to create an adventure. And you're free to join me in that adventure. But if you should so choose not to join me in that adventure, that is your problem. That is your prerogative. It will not stop me from becoming the man I want to become. Guys, you need to have that fire, that passion inside of you because that's what women are missing. When you sit there and you grovel and you're just like, oh my God, I just feel so sorry for myself. She left me. She doesn't love me. All these things. When you do that, you're missing the element because she's saying, yeah, why would I be with you? You're just crawling around on your hands and feet. You ever see somebody who can't get up, who's been knocked to the surface, like a boxer or something, right? You ever watch a boxer get knocked down to the ground and he's just trying to find his mouthpiece? Anybody ever watch Rocky? And he's trying to find his mouthpiece just to be able to try to survive. That's what some of you feel like. But instead of having the grit inside of you, you just lay the fuck down and you go, you know what? Well, maybe this is my life now. And maybe someday I'll be able to get through it with her. And someday she'll come back to me. No, fuck that. She doesn't want to come back to the guy who's given up, who's laying on the ground, looking like a beat little bitch, basically. No, she wants to come back to a man who's empowered, who says, you know what? I'm going to create boundaries. I'm going to communicate in a proper way, in a healthy way. I'm not going to use passive aggressive conversations. I'm not going to, rip you apart because you did something wrong. I'm going to create an adventure that you're going to want to join me in. That's what empowered men do. They don't feel sorry for themselves. They don't get knocked to the canvas and just lay on the ground and go, oh my God, I'm done. No, fuck that. They get up and they continue moving forward. Guys, I have been knocked to the ground. I have been beaten to the ground in so many areas of my life. I have been through so many things. And so when I see a guy who's capable getting knocked to the ground and then just giving up and saying, I can't do it anymore. I just want to quit. I don't care that you feel that way because those feelings are lies. Because the second you feel that way really means that breakthrough is just on the other side. That really it means that if you just dig deeper and go, you know what? I refuse to quit. I'm going to lay into this thing. I'm going to become an empowered man. I'm going to stop settling with this feeling of being a little boy. And I'm going to say, I am going to conquer. I am going to accomplish the things that I set out to accomplish. You might think your life is over now because your wife is gone. You might think that because your family's broken up that your life is over. Dude, none of that means anything in the big scheme of things. Yes, we want families together. Yes, I want kids to grow up with dads and moms together. But you know what? Over 50% of the population gets a divorce. Do we have a fucked up society because of it? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean that your kids have to become a statistic. That doesn't mean that you have to allow that shit to stop who you are with them. When I created a new family with my kids. I was like, you know what? Hey, your mom's not a part of this anymore, but that doesn't mean we can't have our own family and we can't create new traditions. So that's what we did. We created new traditions. We created new ways of living together as us 5 as opposed to us 6. And so they love coming to my house because they know that I'm not just going to grovel and go, oh gosh, my life is over and go hide somewhere and not lean into it. That's why I'm taking them to this Great Wolf Lodge. I never did that with their mom before. I'm creating new memories with them because I am an empowered man who refuses to give up. Guys, can you say that about yourself? It's Friday. Most guys on Friday are like, fuck it, man. I just want a beer and a 6-pack and watch some sports that's on now that baseball's on or whatever. And they don't want to do shit. Guys, now's the time to lean into this pain. Now's the time to stop feeling sorry for yourself and own up to the things that you did and let that shit go. That's it for me today. See ya.
Hey, if what you heard today really resonated with you and you want to connect with me, then here's what I want you to do. Pull out your phone right now and go to empoweredman.co/group. That's empoweredman.co, not com.co/group. So you can join our free Facebook group and connect with me there. We also have a ton of free content and trainings in that group to help you when you join. So until then, this is Mark signing off on Empowered AF.